Snowflake, I think, is on a lap. 3/10 up on their time at the moment. It will be enough to put them probably into a P3 spot if they keep this up. Maybe a P2. Up to the line, P2, 31.332. Raven finishing another lap time, 3/10 up on their time as well. I believe that was an Aston Martin coming up to the line, CGM. Raven up to the line though. What can he do? It's going to be pole for Raven at the moment, and SINTIUM then retakes it in very quick succession. 31.259 for Raven and a 31.143 for SINTIUM. Deck now up to the line. What can he do? As he does go to P2. Let's see if he can keep that. And we have the other RB of Liam. What can he do? Up to P3 for him. Very close, though. We have one of the Red Bulls. That was a Brian Evans. Only P9 for them. The Sauber of Aston Martin, sorry, of Jaipo. P8 for them. And the other RB of Saab can't improve. Only P7. The other Aston Martin of CGM, P11. And now we try and scramble to find these other drivers on lap times. We've got Alfie here, currently improving by half a second. Let's see what they can do coming across the line. Up to the line, P10 for them. We've got one of the Ferraris. I believe that is a Ransdell up to the line. P5 for them. Cannot beat their teammates. And we have a lot of more drivers heading up to the pit now, heading into the pits now. SINTIUM there goes even quicker with a 31.0. Can anyone beat that? I'm really looking at Raven getting very close there. Other drivers finishing lap times. I can't really keep up with this. Can Raven snatch that pole position time? No, he can't. P4 for him. Can Snowflake do anything though? Rounding the final corner up to the line, and they do split the two Ferraris. And I believe that is going to be your grid for the race. But as we go to 5 red lights for the American Grand Prix, Williams on pole and McLaren right beside them, lights out and away we go. And I do think the RB in P3 did get a better start there as we head down into turn 1. And we do see a few moves being made there. Deck is going around the outside of Liam. Can Liam hold on to that down the inside? Yes, he can. Can he hold it, though, as we go into the S section? A lot more moves being made, and Liam does indeed hold on as we go side by side. I think that is of, I think that was Snowflake and Ransdell there, as Ransdell comes out on top. Any other drivers as Saban in the Alpine gets very close to Brian Evans, but Brian Evans having to sit behind as we have two drivers going here side by side, the Haas and the Sauber, as the Haas has a little bit of contact with the Sauber going through turn 10 into turn 11. Will the Sauber keep it down the inside? Yes, he does. Will he be able to get that move as we go onto the long back straight? Bit more contact, I think, from the Sauber part behind as it's a drag race down into turn 12, but I think the Haas has just got the better straight line speed. Can Tharlo get in on this battle, though, as we head down into turn 12, as we have a move there for Snowflake, I believe, on the Alpine. And I think the McLaren has indeed got the move there, as there is Aiton there and the Williams going very slow, as I think Lambert and Alfie there having a slight battle. Lambert down the inside going into turn 15, as I think the Mercedes, gets that done very nicely. And Brian Evans now going side by side with Saban in the Alpine, going into the triple right-hander, now down into turn 19. Can the Red Bull hold that down the inside? No, he can't, as the Alpine gets in front. The Red Bull still trying to hold it down the inside, going into turn 20, though. Can he get that move stick? And I don't think he does. And the Haas here still having a battle with the Sauber, as both Saubers actually get in front of the Haas drivers. And I think that is all that is said with done with that, as Brian Evans gets the move back on the Alpine. The Alpine has a slight tap there in the background, as we have CGM now going down the inside of JB into turn 2 and gets that move stick. I don't think we will, as I think JB there having a slight look there on the Aston Martin, has a very big rear brake locking there, I think, from off board it looked. It just doesn't have the straight line speed. He might look for a dive, though, going into the braking zone as the RB switches to the inside. Will the Sauber hold it around the outside? Yes, he does, into turn 12. And he's going to get very close. He's going to look for it still down the inside of turn 13. Obviously, the outside switches to the inside, and he does get that move stick. But can the RB hold it down the inside going into turn 15? Yes, he does. Can he keep that, though? Forces the Sauber very wide, and it's still side by side going into the triple right-hander. Very close to contact between these two drivers, but the Sauber still maintaining it down the inside. Can he hold that going into turn 19? No, he can't, as the RB stays in front. But can the Sauber look for it down the inside? And he is just a bit too far back to look for that move, and will have to stay in P15. Although he is going to get the overtake on. Can he try and look for it into turn 1? Will he switch to the inside very late on? Yes, he does, down the inside. Very close to contact, and they do keep it clean. But I think, to be fair, the Sauber gets that move and up to P14 he goes. Great move there from Tharlo. I cannot really remember what happened in Division 4. I do apologise. All here's more leader. Gets down the inside of Callum there into turn 11. Forces the Sauber off a little bit there. I believe that might have been due to the contact model, but there might be a post-race ticket being opened there from the Sauber team. But can more leader hold that down the inside? As JB gets past on Tharlo and more leader stays in front of Callum. Can Callum hold it down the outside though? Going into turn 12 or into 13 now. He tries to hold it. Again being forced off the track there by the Haas. And that allows Fifas to get through as well. Will too can look for it as well. Actually Fifas is still holding it around the outside of the Sauber. Sauber's still trying to hold it around the outside going into the triple right-hander, but just doesn't have enough grip to hold it. As Tharlo and more leader try to go down the inside of JB there into turn 12. A little bit of contact again there with more leader and JB. JB still holds it down the inside going into turn 13. Into 14 we go now, and a bit of contact there from JB. Pushes the Haas off track there, and he's still going to try and hold it around the outside going into turn 15. And the RB holds position at the moment. Whether that was a slight push off the track there for the RB, we will never know, as Callum is going to try his look around the outside of the Haas going into turn 18 and then eventually 19, but eventually has to back out. More leader and Tharlo here still having a battle, and that was into turn 19. As I think Fifas as well down the inside of Tharlo going into turn 20, and I think that was probably choreographed as the both Haas drivers get up a position, but it's still going to be side by side between these two. Is it going to be 3 right into turn 1 with both Saubers and the Haas? And it will be, and the two Saubers trying to get down the inside of Fifas there, but Fifas holds position, very nicely done, and the two Saubers not able to get the overtake. Look at the gap though, 2.5 seconds between CGM and JB as Lambert there gets the move on Alfie. Alfie still tries to hold it around the outside going into turn 13, but not able to hold it, but has a slight snap. Will that allow the Alpine back around the outside? No, it doesn't. The Alpine switches to the inside into turn 15, and can he hold that? And I don't think he has the exit speed, and Lambert just is able to hold on to P10 there. Any moves being made down here? I think Ransdell might be getting close to Jaipo. Round the outside, he's going to try it. Aston Martin holds it down the inside into turn 12, into turn 13. Still side by side between these two. Ferrari has the inside, will have the outside for turn 15. Can the Aston Martin hold it down the inside? They do usually try and make moves going into that corner. Still side by side. And into the triple right-hander. And I think Ransdell gets that move done. As Aiton there is... Oh my god, what is going on here? He loses 3 places in one corner, I think. And to the Sauber as well. Although he is still trying to hold it down the inside. Very close to contact. And... he loses another position going into that corner, and Aiton now down back in last as Tukin picks up another 3-second time penalty there, but that got a little bit dangerous with the Williams. Tukin now trying to make a move on Callum going into turn 1 and manages to get that move stick, although the Sauber is still going to try and hold it around the outside. Had an in plate there, but then has to back out, so he is on 6 seconds worth of penalties. Raven trying to have a slight look down the inside of deck there. As I think Alfie might have gone a little bit deep there, and deck is going to get the move. Raven needs to get down the inside as well. Will Raven look for a dive into turn 1? Yes, he does. And he is also tries to look on the McLaren as well, but isn't able to get the move on the McLaren. He is still down the inside of the Alpine, gets past the Alpine, and now he needs to try and find a way past the McLaren of deck. As Deck now picks up a 3-second time penalty going through the S section, and honestly Raven now just doesn't really need to do anything. He can mainly just sit behind Deck now and just get the DRS. I think a podium finish for Raven will satisfy him more than enough. And Liam now picks up a 3-second time penalty, and that could be very detrimental towards the end of this race. On a 3-second time penalty, with SINTIUM and Raven charging up towards him. Raven down the inside of Deck there into turn 12, into 13. Still side by side between these two. And this is going to be a great demonstration here for the league owner to show what his league can do. Down the inside going into turn 15, and he is easily passed on the McLaren, but has a slight snap on the exit. And Deck holds that back down the inside and will stay in P3. Like I was saying before, Raven doesn't necessarily need to fight the McLaren, as he does have a 3-second, but Want to do it on track as Raven there just goes off the track out of turn 19, and now Raven picks up a 3-second time penalty himself. And now he does need to fight Deck now. More Leader and JB here going side by side out of turn 13 into 15 now. Still side by side between the two. And these two have been fighting all race pretty much. They had a slight battle on the opening few laps, and they are still battling as we are on lap 19 of this race so far, nearly on lap 20. Who's going to have this round the outside? And it is going to be the Haas. And he goes off the track there. Could that be seen as a push off the, push to pass there maybe? I'm not too sure, but Callum has retired. Yellow flags. There is no safety car as far as I can see. And JB holds that place. JB and Alfie there having a slight battle there into the third sector. Alfie gets to hold it round the outside with that grip, but then goes off the track. And JB is all the way off the track there and rejoins safely in P18. Not really too sure what happened with JB there, but Alfie, somehow, who got the move, went all the way off the track, manages to keep it. Having said that though, Liam holds it back down the inside going into turn 12. And honestly, I'm going to be straight up in saying this. If Liam wants to still be on the podium, stay behind SINTIUM. Because the more you and SINTIUM fight, the more Jaipo could potentially get within that window, and then you won't even finish on the podium. So maybe there is a little bit of mind games in there for Liam. Maybe he thinks that he can get a track limit removed. As Deck picks up another 3 second. And now Raven is promoted up a place on Deck. Question is though, will it be on the podium? But as we go through turn 11 onto the major back straight, is it going to be SINTIUM? Is it going to be Liam? Let's ride on board with the Williams and let's see if he is gaining. And he is gaining slightly, but will it be enough to make a send at the end of the straight? He doesn't need to do anything silly here, as Liam does have that 3 seconds and he does choose the safer option. Deck and Raven are just hoping that Jaipo has some sort of mistake to avoid him getting that that podium spot basically of P2. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. All of these drivers just trying to keep their foot planted as much as they can without having any sort of issues. Sab has dropped back 4.1 seconds. SINTIUM, can he make any final attempt? And I don't think he's going to be able to, but off penalties he is just going to get it. Liam has tried to control this race, but with that track limit, he will not take the win, and it will be SINTIUM who takes the win. And Jaipo does indeed get P2, with Liam finishing in P3. Seb will then finish in P4 with Ransdell P5. Raven will finish in P6, and Brian Evans will finish in P7. Deck, with that 6 seconds worth of penalties, will finish just ahead of his teammates of Snowflake, who finishes in P9, and then Saban in the Alpine finishes P10 with FIFA's in P11. Lambert then will finish in P12 with CGM in P13. More Leader holds on to Tharlo, who will finish in P14 and P15 respectively. And then Alfie finishes in P16, Tukan in P17, and then a long wait to finish Aiton finish in P18 with 6 seconds worth of penalties, and then the non-finishes of JB and Callum.